Welcome to the first of my many Degrassi season reviews that I will be doing. We look at season one, the beginning of Degrassi, Next Generation, with many characters being introduced: Manny, Terry, Spinner, Sean, Ashley, Toby, JT, Emma, Liberty, and a few others. It's quite critical. So, anyway, according to sources, Degrassi Next Generation started season one on October 14th, 2001. So that was about 18 plus years ago. March 2nd, 2002 was the finale of it. 15 episodes. They introduced a group of 7th and 8th grade children and how they deal with challenges such as online predators, body image, dysfunctional families, sex, puberty, rumors, peer pressure, stress, and drug use. Online predators would be basically Emma. Body image would be Terry. Dysfunctional family is Toby and Ashley's family dynamic. Sex, well, few characters. Puberty, that might be Emma. Rumors, Liberty got affected by that. Peer pressure, basically Paige on other kids. Stress and drug use. Drug use would definitely be on Ashley. The first season was broadcast on CTV in Canada, Sundays at 7 p.m. It had the 1 hour special Mother and Child reunion that basically reunited everyone from the old Degrassi days. In the United States, the N had it. So, anyway, the reception for season one was mixed. It earned itself 365,000 Canadian viewers, while the company website had 28 million hits per month. But the press reviews were not as complimentary. They did get nominations for a few awards, but nothing basic. So basically, for the new cast of characters, the producers kept the same model that had been used during the casting of the previous series. Junior High and Degrassi High chose 11 kids out of 600, hoping to provide a group of characters, a target audience that kids and teenagers could relate to, rather than the gorgeous actors in the 20s pretending to be teenagers. Something that other shows of the same period, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Dawson's Creek, were doing. Um, there were ties to the previous series as Stephen Brogan, Dan Woods, and Amanda Steptoe were hired to reprise their original roles, being featured throughout the season, while the first episode served as a reunion for many of the previous cast members. So anyway, yeah, so it's huge. So there were 4 characters in all 15 episodes: Emma, Manny, Toby, and JT. Whereas there were 3 characters who were 13 of them: Terry, Ashley, and Paige. So great job on those things. Basically, the main cast, I think the first season MVP has got to go to Toby. Now, here's why Toby's my MVP pick for season one. It's because Toby had such great storylines, including the 3rd episode, dealing with Ashley and all that. I say Ashley's a close second, but I think Toby deserves it. And mostly because with Toby falling off the freaking map every season since then, I think Toby deserved a better fate. So Toby is my MVP for season one. Ashley would probably be number 2, but Toby, I think, is it. And remember, it's 1 per season. It's 1 per season. Same character can't be hit more than once. And of course, adults can be there too. But Toby is my season 1 MVP. Emma's close to with Manny. So yes, such bravado. All right. So anyway, the reception in season 1 is that it was mixed reviews. Canoe writer Stephanie McGrath said that Mary McDonald's portrayal of Emma was stellar acting in a super creepy storyline, high intention, low on cheese, and top notch. She said that the reunion subplot was criticized because it's wooden, over-rehearsed acting, and basically the young actors showed up their classic counterparts. The Canadian TV Guide said that it's not just Canadian TV, it's great Canadian TV. It offers a gritty look into the real lives of real teens, complete with acne and bad dye jobs. So yeah. Canada's top-rated domestic drama at the time has 365,000 18 to 49-year-olds watched it. And all that. So anyway, here's the thing. In the US, the series broadcast for the end aired episode 3 as a series premiere. Of course, not doing the two-parter mother and child reunion. It was held back and put as the season finale. And a lot of continuing problems happened because it depicted Toby being introduced to Manny and Emma for the first time and was set before the school year began. The final episode of the season, Juggy Little Pill, was held back because the end had decided whether its subject was controversy about ecstasy use by Ashley. When an edited version was made available, the end decided to make it season 2. So anyway, the episodes are named after songs and films from the 50s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So I'm gonna tell you the episodes and like the main plot lines. All right. So the first one of season 1 was called Mother and Child Reunion. Spike's 12-year-old daughter Emma has spent the summer communicating with a boyfriend named Jordan over the internet and makes plans to meet him in person, even though her friends warn her that there's potential dangers. The Degrassi High's classes of 92 and 93 return for the high school reunion. Joey's unsure if he wants to go because he's been recently widowed, especially after finding out that Caitlin is bringing her fiance to the event. So basically, there's a lot of people introduced. Part 1 is the first appearances of JT, Toby, Emma, and Manny. Part 2 sees Ashley and Terry be introduced. So Mother and Child Reunion was a big episode. I call it my best episode of season 1 because it brought new and old together, basically putting on the storyline. You know, Emma being catfished before catfishing was popularized. I think it was about a decade later when it was finally being popularized. All that, because, you know, online stuff is way different in 2001 than it is now in 2019. And then you got, you know, Emma trying to see if there's a boy who she likes, and then unfortunately finding out it's an older age man. I mean, Toby and JT try to tell Emma that this might be not as seen as on TV, if you will. But they do the job and protect Emma from all this stuff. So anyway, the reunion was pretty nice because, you know, it brought back a lot of old Degrassi fames, and, you know, Joey dealing with Caitlin's affections, and then you got yourself like many others from the Degrassi High days that showed up. It was pretty good. Episode 3 was called Family Politics. It's the first day at Degrassi 3 years ago, and Ashley wants to be the school's newest student council president. But basically, her stepbrother, Toby, is frustrated by her unchallenged status and convinces JT to run against her. Meanwhile, Emma and Manny deal with Spinner's bullying. This third episode was the debuts of Liberty, Paige, Jimmy, and Spinner coming in. Like Liberty in grade 7, but the other 3 in grade 8. So basically, so Ashley is objectified with Toby because, you know, Ashley and Toby are not really step-siblings. They're step-siblings. Ashley came from, I believe, a black mother and a white father or something like that. Because I know that Ashley's father turns out 3 years later to be different, to be homosexual, but we'll get to that when we get to season 4. And of course, Toby's mom came by. So anyway, Eye of the Beholder was the 4th episode. It meant this was the first episode of Sean Cameron. So anyway, Terry does not want to attend Degrassi's first nighttime dance because she thinks she's too fat for a guy like her. Spinner actually likes her, but Paige wants Spinner for herself and basically gets Terry drunk by playing on Terry's insecurities. Emma is puzzled by the new kid, Sean's behavior, and JT and Toby skip the dance to look at internet porn. That's funny. Parents' Day, number 5, comes up. With Parents' Day fast approaching, Toby tries to convince his divorced parents that it's canceled to avoid an ugly spat between them. Meanwhile, Ashley and Paige fight for the attention of Toby's mom, who's a casting agent for a thing. I believe Terry gets it or something. And Emma's annoyed by the morning announcements program because she thinks it's biased and decides to write a paper on it. Of course, that part was hurt when Sean's brother objectifies, like Emma's saying, basically saying that they give money back to squeegee kids and help poor people and all that. But Sean thinks Emma's doing the right thing. And of course, Toby does some stupid moves by carbon copying stuff from Snake's computer and all that. I mean, like, Toby's parents basically have it out for each other, and then Toby basically says that, he's got troubles. I mean, Snake does punch Toby, but he tells Toby, I applaud you for standing up for yourself. Next is the mating game, episode 6. Jimmy and Ashley's 8-month anniversary comes up, but with Paige playing Juliet to Jimmy's Romeo for English class, Ashley wants to have sex with Jimmy to keep him interested and out of Paige's clutches. And Toby tries to get closer to Emma when the 7th graders are given an assignment on endangered animals. People forget that Toby had a crush on Emma. It was okay. It was a decent crush. We all have our crushes and all that. Basketball Diaries is number 7. Jimmy wants to make the basketball team, but schoolwork suffers because of practice. So he decides to get an energy boost and try to make himself the star of the basketball team. He gets Spinner to give him a Ritalin pill. And basically, the Ritalin pill makes Jimmy super smart. But unfortunately, Jimmy does injure Sean, his own player, on his own teammate, and he makes a key shot, but of course he's kicked off the basketball team because he's not a team player. Spinner does have the effects of losing the Ritalin thing by mooning the cafeteria. He does keep it secret from Radich that he gave Jimmy the Ritalin pill, but Spinner is now forced to take Ritalin pill in front of the administration. Next is Secrets and Lies. Ashley's dad is coming home from Europe, and she's happy until she finds out he's gay and cuts him out of her life. Oh, I thought it was season 4 that we found out Ashley's dad was gay. Guess not. Me and my stupidity. Meanwhile, Liberty has a crush on JT, but he's not interested. So he basically tries to push Liberty off by pretending to be homosexual, but of course he can't keep the charade going. Coming of Age is number 9. With his parents working constantly, Jimmy spends all his time with Ashley's, and she feels smothered. Meanwhile, Emma learns that her mood swings are not just because of stress. She gets her first period, and it was funny in Miss Kwan's English class. Basically, she has her first period in front of the whole class, and then Manny steps in to protect Emma and tells Miss Kwan, "That's what happens to girls, right?" Saving Emma from further embarrassment. Rumors and reputations are number 10. It's number 10. Emma accidentally starts a rumor about Liberty dating Mr. Armstrong, which doesn't really happen. So anyway, we're introduced to Hazel as the first time. Liberty dating Mr. Armstrong, but she's getting extra tutoring because she has dyscalculia. As people know, dyslexia is something to do with misunderstanding words and all that. But dyscalculia is basically the math equivalent. I know some people who are not really good at math and might have the condition, but anyway, yeah, Emma sees Mr. Armstrong with an arm around Liberty and accidentally starts the rumor. But Emma does save Mr. Armstrong and Liberty from problems by basically explaining that it was just an accident, and Liberty tells Emma about her problems. Next is Friday night, number 11. Sean asks Emma out on a date, but the date turns out to be disastrous. Jimmy and Spinner are given detention by Miss Kwan. They vow to get revenge. Spinner because, the lunch thing. And Jimmy is upset over Miss Kwan overreacting to him giving an innocent kiss to Ashley. They vow revenge by pulling pranks on her, but may have gone too far. Practically, what we see is that, Sean and Emma try to get among each other. So anyway, Jimmy and Spinner decide to egg Miss Kwan's car. But then in English class, Miss Kwan doesn't show up, and Principal Radich comes by and explains why. Because Miss Kwan has been overstressed with late night work and all that, and her husband just got sick too. So basically, everything just boiled up, and so Miss Kwan has to take a leave of absence. Jimmy and Spinner do feel guilty about it. Next episode is called Wannabe, number 12. Paige starts Spirit Squad at the school. Manny wants to join. But, of course, Emma is not really supportive of the cheerleading thing. As it turns out that, everyone was accusing Emma of just being petty because she couldn't be a cheerleader and all that, and Manny could. But Emma says something about sexism in cheerleading. And, of course, Paige thinks, okay, well, we've got that covered because we have guys on the team. That's not the point. The point with Emma is she was trying to make the freaking point that sexism is like cheerleaders are supposed to be like dumb, stereotypical, and basically thin and all that. Next episode is called Cabaret. Ashley writes a song she wants to perform with Terry at the lunchtime cabaret, but when Terry adds Paige, they get annoyed because Paige takes control of it. Emma wants to perform an interpretive dance to advocate anti-poaching, and Toby decides to join in. I don't remember that. Under Pressure is the 14th episode, second last episode of season 1, when Sean is desperate to not repeat grade 7. He's stressed to a boiling point. Sean decides to release his frustrations in a very violent way. Spinner tries to avoid taking his English exam and fails. But this was the episode when Sean and Jimmy fight with each other and Emma gets caught in the crossfire and Emma basically breaks it off from Sean. And then Jagged Little Pill was when Ashley is trying to get out of everyone's shadow of being perfectionist and turns her slumber party into an out of control rager. JT brings an ecstasy pill for Toby, Sean, and himself, but Ashley consumes it. So basically, JT brings the ecstasy pill in. Sean wants to make up with Emma. After all, he did hurt Emma accidentally. So yeah, poor Ashley. I mean, like, Ashley was going to be a star, but then, she takes the ecstasy and it burns season 2. Like, that's basically the one thing in season 1 that is changed, is that practically Ashley's behavior in season 1 turns over into season 2. So basically, I feel bad for Ashley. But anyway, that's season 1 in a nutshell. Season 2 coming up soon.